What's going on, everybody? It is Luke, and today we're going to be doing a really exciting video, and it's all about pallets and shipping it to Amazon and why it's been a bit of a revelation to, not just for me, but many people that I've spoken to that have transitioned into shipping Amazon FBA on an arbitrage product, but in pallet form. So instead of calling up UPS and getting them to obviously come and collect your boxes, whatever you book in, you you sort out a pallet. I get the prep center to do it, so it's not me. And they will obviously arrange it into a full pallet, so you can sort of choose if you want to do half. It's only really beneficial if you're obviously looking, there's more benefit in a full pallet because you get, economies of scale, which just means it's cheaper for more, pretty much. You get more back for less money, or whatever you want to call it. There's a saving to be made in doing quantity, stuff and volume, that kind of thing. Can I get what I'm saying? So I want to go through it all, about how to book it, what it looks like, the saving at the end. I'll also go over, just showing you this is something you can definitely be either transitioning to right away because, it was something that I wasn't really aware of, and I wasn't able to do pallets where I was before. So obviously I couldn't do it anyway, but now I know it's something that as soon as you almost can do pallets, you'd be a bit of a fool not to because of the saving that can be made. Or if you were even just looking to do it over, say, Q4, because not only are you able to send up a hell of a lot more and get it collected properly, but you're able to make even more of a saving because you're sending so many more pallets or boxes overall. So let's get started. So as you can see here on the screen, we've got Pallets Online open already. And this is like a little extension that just downloads onto my desktop on the computer, and I can just straight off the bat open it up whenever. Really easy. It has a cool thing at the top that you can't quite see, but it basically says if you order within the next, or book within the next hour and 40 minutes, it is now 9:50 in the morning, then they can collect the same day, which is really cool because obviously that's an important thing. If it was a bit of a delay to sort of pick up, you've got to factor in those costs because obviously your stock gets there later and all that kind of thing. So, so far as well, on terms of the delivery side, it seems to be getting delivered and booked in just like a normal UPS box would. Of course, it's not going by UPS, but the times are the same. So, of course, it may change over time. But currently, as we're doing this, and with the current pallets that have been sent in by me, I sent in 2 batches, or something like 5 or 6 pallets, but 2 different collections. They've all taken about 4 days, something like that. 4 days from the start, or 3 to 4 days from the start, up to about 5 days for all, because there's a couple of pallets per delivery. So, this is where you start, and this is the main page. And really, I would say create an account because you get to get your invoices off and all that kind of thing. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and just grab, get a quote. That's what we need. So the quote is normally the same price, give or take. But I'm going to sort of take you through the process, and maybe let's get stuck in. So what we want to do is you want to put the collection address. Because it wants to know where he's collecting from, and then you want to add a fulfillment center. And then there's a little tick button here that I've already clicked, send to Amazon. So they're sort of partnered with Amazon, which is the great thing. So you don't have to go mucking around. You can input data. It knows, Amazon sort of Seller Central will know when it's been picked up and collected and stuff and scanned, because there's certain labels that you'll send over to put on the pallets, which sort of correlate. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose the fulfillment center and put your collection address. Very simple. So I'm going to go ahead and check the shipping address, and I think that is the actual correct one. Yeah, BHX1. So collection address and where it's going to. So you would create a Seller Central, on your Seller Central, you go ahead and create a normal shipment, just like you would anything, add all your products, and I'll show you in a second, and at the prepare stage, or prepare shipment it's called, where you basically would normally go UPS, select the boxes and all that kind of thing at the very end, basically just before you get your late box label. That's where you tweak it and do something different for this. So we're going to go ahead and click that. It comes up with this. I'm going to go ahead and say it is, how many pallets am I sending? Okay, let me just double check this and then I'll get right back to you. Right, it is 3 pallets that I'm sending. So currently it's at a prep center. I've outsourced because I'm moving away next month. So, and yeah, this is where it's come about. So you go here and you select 3 pallets, or a quarter or a half, but the pricing will be different depending on, obviously, the more you send or get collected, you'll get sort of better value for money. So there we go. So it's 183,007. I don't know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And you can see here, approved Amazon courier and that kind of thing, or carry on instances. And this is excluding VAT. So this is where being a bit more of an experienced seller pays dividends, because when you become a VAT registered seller or general business or whatever, what actually happens? Why are you blocking this? Why is this not coming? What actually happens is that Amazon won't charge you VAT on the shipments or anything that happens. So for all pricing, what you need to do is take it without VAT. So they'll charge VAT on top of this, but I'll claim that back on my next quarter. When I do a VAT return, I'll claim that back. So as a business, you will not add it into your costs because you're able to claim it back. Yes, there is a bit of a delay, but ultimately, as a business, you don't look at it, oh, I'm paying it now, so I'm going to, you need to sort of be comparing without VAT, or with, but because Amazon don't charge the VAT, and I'll be able to claim this back. Even though this price will increase in a second, which you'll see, it's just so that you don't get confused. That's the price that we're going to be comparing to see what sort of savings there are. So currently, Amazon would charge me £3.59 per box sending to UPS. So that will be so whoever's not VAT registered, just as maybe a newer seller or a little bit more established, but not yet over the £85,000 per 12-month threshold, will have a higher UPS sort of shipment charge than £3.59. That's what I'm charged. That's the comparison I'll be showing you in a second. So there's a lot of information here. I don't look at any of that. I didn't even look at it to start with. Don't need to muck around. So this is the cost. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to be sending that pallet anyway. So you say yes, book now. So then you are presented with this. So it's very easy. All you need to do is you need to go ahead and jump into your Amazon account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slide this over now, so you can see exactly what's going on. So you can see here, I know that there'll be some information obviously hidden. That's fine, but you can see I'm sending up 2,000 units here. Well, just under. This is obviously the address. So that's the address that I would have made sure when I added in the quote that matches. Don't want it to go to the wrong place. And you can see here shipment name and ID. So you need to grab some of this information that's over here and add it in to the Pallets Online thing. So you need to get the ID, just a bit, and then back to the here. And then this reference doesn't always populate, or doesn't always show up. So if it doesn't show up there, you just copy and paste the ID twice right into where I'm about to show you. So basically, if you don't get that Amazon ID that I just put in there, you put that twice. I think it's just to override the system so you can go through to the next section. Then it asks you for the number of boxes to be sent here. I believe it's 67. So let's double check. I've actually got it on this tab here, so let me double check. So you've got to make sure that you've got there are certain, it's not just easy to click your fingers. It is a little bit more work in terms of one section I'm going to show you in a minute, but it's more like, a little bit more work. Once you refine the process, it will be a lot faster than I'm currently doing it as well. It's just more the saving. That's when you're started to get to more of an established seller. You need to find all those little savings because they can add up to thousands and thousands. Like me doing this could save me £6,000 a year, while me also doing another 3 or 4 or 5 things, because that each has, in terms of impact on the business, thousands of pounds of impact. Because obviously, when you're starting off, a pound here or a pound there doesn't sound that much. But when you're doing, hundreds of thousands of pounds a year in sales, and you're sending thousands of boxes or whatever it is, those values actually become substantial. They actually become almost like a salary, like a minimum wage salary. And all those little savings need to be maximised, because you could actually go from just doing all right to doing great just by basically looking at all these little nooks and crannies and just doing it in a more efficient and cost-effective way. So 67 boxes. I'm not around on fun and games, isn't it? Products to send. So as I said a minute ago, it's 1,000. So let's double check. 1973. 1973. 1973. I'm going to hide some of these details here because it's some collection address and that kind of, basically where I'm getting stuff done. Don't need to worry about this. This will actually have, because I've logged in on my own account, this has a customer review. But otherwise, I think it just says invoice email address, and you would just type in where you want because you get a label sent to you that you need to basically print out, which is for this shipment. So you need to make sure that you put in your email address there if you're not like on your first go of doing this. But it basically asks for contact details of people, like the general crap you always get, finish of a checkout, how they contact you, and like, all right, so we've done that. Let's double check. Yep. All right, down. Continue to check out. Oh, good. It says goods description. You won't be able to see this because of I'm blocking out a lot. I just put like consumables, I think. Products. Yeah, consumable products. Generic. Okay. On the next section. So I'm just double checking the collection date is today, and it is. So as long as it's done by 11:30, you can get the same day collection. And it just says it's going to be delivered by Tuesday. So you get a little bit of an indication. I don't know if that's a literal delivery on the 23rd. I might be something I just double check as time goes on to make just so I'm really refined up on the process. But you can select different dates and that kind of thing. I just leave it. I just want it to be collected as soon as I can. So it will say box weight. So annoyingly, obviously you've got to. The only thing you don't have to do, obviously, is put in the dimensions of the boxes. If you've got loads of different sizes, you don't have to spend ages doing that. The prep service will always put in the weights for me. So I literally am just going to scroll across all of the cells in Excel, and it says 729. And I'm going to put 750, and let's just see if it goes up. It doesn't go up. So I don't know what the maximum. I don't even know if there is a maximum, but you can see by putting in the total weight of all the boxes, it doesn't change anything here. 3 pallets. Now, these are just different things that you can add on. So the prep service I hasn't got a tail lift, which is like all that little thing, that little van thing. What's it called? Forklift truck. Forklift truck. Yeah, it doesn't have that. So I need to add on £5 cost to this. And obviously this is an added cost, so you've got to factor that in. If you're doing a smaller batch, £5 addition in terms of the percentage increase of the overall cost for me is a lot less because I'm doing loads of pallets, or 3, but more than 1. But obviously, if you've only got half a pallet, £5 on like a 38 quid charge is a lot more. It will almost not potentially be beneficial to send it this way. The only thing I can see on the plus side is that I've had a lot of UPS drivers, at the moment, are not collecting more than like 15 boxes. So let's say it's Q4 and you've got 30, 40 boxes. What do? You just don't get your stock in, and then it's January, and then So not only that, but you're able to get it like a lot more volume collected if that is something you're doing. So in theory, even if it did become a little bit more expensive in some circumstances or scenarios, it may still be beneficial because you're getting stock volume in. Let's say you're doing 20 pallets a day. You think UPS are going to be able to collect 100 boxes? Some people are fine, but a lot of people that I know are getting it collected from their houses and stuff. This would not be possible. But anyway, enough of that. I need a tail lift. £5. Cool. You can read all this information and stuff. I don't really care about that stuff. That's just me. I never do. That's literally it. So yeah, make sure you've got the weight, and it will tell you if you haven't entered all the information, and you will go ahead and click. Well, I'll see what happens. I'm not going to go ahead and buy it on video, on camera, live, whatever this thing is. But I'll do it. So billing address and all that kind of thing, weights, it's just confirmation. And then obviously you can see the VAT's been added on, but because I'm not factoring that in, there's no need. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a price comparison here for you. So you can see the saving on this. So I've already gone ahead and said it's £3.59 per box. Yeah, because like if you were just sending through UPS, obviously I'm sending 67 boxes, which is what these 3 pallets can contain. So the total cost, if I was going to do it through UPS, would be £240.53, because that would be the full cost. Because obviously that £3.59 is without VAT. Amazon don't charge you VAT. So on this, because I can claim back that £37.61, again, I'm not going to include that. Yeah, I'm paying it now, but my next quarter is like very soon, and I'll get that back as a refund. So the value we're going to be using is 188 and 7p. So I'm just going to do this right here. I've already worked out one of them, so I just add this now. And this is including that £5 charge that we just talked about for the forklift. So if you don't need that, then it's another £5 that you can save. So let's do this right here. So £240.50. Well, you can already get a rough idea just by seeing it, by me telling you. But £240.53 is what I would be doing for UPS. But actually, I'm going to be paying now And that saving, including that extra £5, is £52.46. So you can see, if I send in, like I was saying on the post the other day, if I send in basically 6 pallets a week, yeah. So if we're going to times that by 52 weeks a year, oh yeah, times by 2. So £52, sorry, £52 per 3 pallets. Let's say, and obviously that's not including Q4. Like I could send in 3-4 times that over Q4. We're just going to say let's keep that nice and steady through the year, just as a rough example, yeah. So that price times by 2, because you're going to be sending in double a week, 6 pallets, and this is obviously calculated in 3. You're timesing that by the year. You're saving yourself, doing it this way, about 5,000. You can even see, maybe you want to. It's going to be back to front, isn't it? £5,455.84 a year. Not only that, but you're able to get it. You know, think about how. Have you ever watched UPS handle your stock? They're literally like, you know, you're giving it to them quite delicately, whatever, because you know what's in it, and they're just, you know, sometimes they're like just chucking it around, and it's like, okay, I'm hoping that's, and half the time it's fine, but there are times when you're like a little bit tentative and about like, is there something going to happen? But you know, the delivery on this is equally as good. Collection is going to be more secure. It's all, you know, the pallet is secure. The savings amazing. £5.5 a year. I mean, literally just by clicking a couple of buttons. The only difference, which I'll show you right now, is the uploading of the data. Sorry. So I'm going to come back to this in a minute. I'm going to go over to the Amazon side now and just show you the final steps that you would do to finish off the Amazon side of things. So you would come here. And you basically want to select, make sure that that's selected. Basically, I'm shipping a pallet. That's nothing. There's nothing under that. You scroll down, and what you need to do is you need to type in here. So I'd always put more. So that's what I selected. More than 1 SKU per box, and I put 67. I've done this already. And you would then click generate pack list template thing. Actually, what we can do is we can just no, we won't do that. Bit too hard. I've already got an example up anyway, so we'll grab that and I'll just put it over. Again, you won't see all of this because it's got my shipment on, but it'll, you know, give you an Excel sheet pretty much with everything that's in what you said that shipment's been. Yeah, it looks very similar to how it would be if you were sending it through UPS. You know, the boxes and the all here, but what you have to go and do is manually enter this. So that's the only little bit of time-consuming sort of input you've got to do, but it took me about half an hour to do 67 boxes. Yeah, so it's, you know, it's, if you're doing that twice a week like I'll be doing, it's an hour, but you're saving yourself like 5.5. So an hour a week, 4 hours a month, give or take, and you're saving yourself £5.5 grand. But of course, you know, as a newer seller, this is something that you might not be able to do right now, or even a bit more of like an intermediate seller, but it's something to be aware of, or even try to, you know, because if you're saving yourself £5.5 grand a year, well, if you're taking a little less margin potentially on your stock, but you're able to get the volume in now, you're able to increase your volume, it could actually compensate because of the saving. So let's say you bring your margins down a bit, and you're like, oh, because of that, I'm in the buy box more, because I'm taking like 25% return or something. What, instead of 30, so instead of buying every other day I'm in the buy box, I'm now in it, you know, 80% of the time. So it's increased by 30. Instead of being 50-50, you know, 1 day on, 1 day off because of the sellers moving, you're now in it 80% of the time, meaning your volume's higher, meaning you can obviously make up that pallet that I was talking about because you can buy more stock. And even if that margin change, that 5%, let's say you were taking 30% and now you're taking 25%, because of that, if that cost you per year £2,000, let's say, or 2.5 grand, because obviously you're making less profit, you're saving yourself in this scenario, in this example, obviously what I'm giving, the cost of shipping a pallet is now 2.5 grand or 2 grand. We can use 2.5 grand so I don't confuse everyone, because you're bringing your margins down. But because you're able to send more volume and do it the pallet way, you're then saving 5.5 grand. So the net profit is £2,000. So you're gaining £2,000 by taking a less margin because you're able to ship pallets. Yeah. So these are the sort of things you need to think about when doing Amazon, because everyone's very much like 30%, £5, this, that. But there's so many scenarios that you can sort of go off that mean doing less creates more, meaning not doing less work in this instance, but doing less or taking less profit can create more profit. And I know everyone I never see any videos on these kind of things. It really confuses me how, like, these kind of things are quite fluid and easy to think of. Like, I think of a million different random things every day. Not to say that others don't, because obviously I do videos and no one else. Well, not everyone does. But yeah, these are things to definitely be aware of. And even if you're not able to do this now, just thinking outside of the box in terms of less is more. If you're going to take anything away, take that away. Because there is not only this sort of thing you can do in terms of less is more, but across the whole Amazon business, there is loads. I don't know how many. Where you can do you can do things which create more profit or more time. You've got more, but basically it doesn't matter what it is. There's some sort of gain from doing something which is a little bit more unorthodox and not the norm in terms of like the vanilla OA that everyone does talk about. So yeah. And once you've filled in this form, I'll talk for 20 minutes. I want to try to cut these videos short. You obviously got to put the expiry dates. A little bit, that is faffy, and that's the only thing that is a little bit annoying. But you can get people to do this. The VA could do this. It's not outside that scope. Just go ahead and save it. Jump back to the Amazon page. Let's do this. Yeah. Upload the file there. So we're going to go ahead. I'll do that later. Just otherwise you'll see all the files. Then you'll basically go box 1 to, in this instance, 67. Plain paper. Generate box labels. And then you go, so that will be on each box. So there'll be 67 generated labels. Look like the UPS, but it's just a bit different. And they go on all the boxes. So you still have to do that, or the prep service still has to do that. Because you still have to allocate what's in each box because of the Excel sheet. So it still knows what's going in each box. You then go here, and it basically generates I think it generates 4 times 4 labels. 1 times 4 is 4. God. 4 labels that go on like the top, the bottom, not the bottom, the top and the sides. What are the sides? Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it. No, it must go on the sides, all 4 sides. Honestly, I wonder how I'm able to even walk when I talk about things like that. Anyway, on the sides, and then you put that, and then the only thing you would get at the end, so you get 3 sets of labels, the box labels, the pallet labels from here. And then the one that you get left is once you put that email address in when you're doing the Pallets online, they'll send you a final shipping label that is for the Pallets online company or whoever, if it's their own company or if it's third party or whatever, that they'll then be able to scan. So there's like 3 sets of labels. And then that will be everything. And then you don't have to do anything after that. You leave the Amazon side of things are left here. You can complete the shipment or just leave it and it will automatically complete when it's done. And then, as you will see, once you go on to your Amazon shipment, you'll just see it book in as you would any other UPS collection or whatever you get. And that is it. But what you need to take away from that is that, by getting to a certain point, you're able to really make some crazy savings. And I'm almost a little bit amazed at one little thing that I've never really seen people talk about that much. I've heard people talk about pallets and that kind of thing, like wholesale. But that's more for deliveries and receiving pallets. But this is, if you're just able to do a couple of things like that, it's 20 grand a year. And you just clicked a couple of buttons and, that kind of thing. So anyway, going to leave it there. Hopefully, this is actually going to be one of the better videos, I think, because this has actually got some massive value for anyone that's, intermediate, looking to go to a bit more an advanced or volume level of seller. Which is, there's a massive, massive market there for the amount of people that are doing that. So, take that for a spin. Over to you. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. See you guys.